Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the
What's
cheerbits.
up, everybody? Cheerbits! Welcome to Sunday night. Welcome to All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. Before we get started, I would like to remind everybody, of course, that All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show is meant to teach and help, but the opinions stated by those of us on the show are not that of Smiteworks USA LLC or Fantasy Grounds. This is an adult show. We might say bad words. Before I get to my guest, I would like to, of course, say hello to my two co-hosts in no particular order. Robin, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
How are you?
Well, I'm actually not feeling that well, but I'll muddle through. It's the show must go on. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's just a general malaise. But I'll be fine. And Fury, how are you?
I'm doing well. I just had a delicious dinner that I made that my husband was like, "No, it's okay. I had Little Caesars pizza. I don't want your salmon and asparagus."
Oh man, yeah. It doesn't help
Not
that
bad.
it doesn't help that it's 100 degrees here where I live, and you just mentioned salmon and asparagus, so that's a little quease making. That's all right.
I'm so sorry.
So,
You're going through a hot flash.
yeah, I'm having a hot flash, exactly. So our guest tonight is Mr. G. Jensen, also known as Hagrid on the Discord, and he's the person who, of course, made the wonderful spell tokens, which I'm going to try and show on screen right now, which I didn't have prepared because I don't feel well. But I'll show you the page on DM's Guild, and while I'm typing that in, hello, Hagrid, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. It's the middle of the night, but I'm going to do my best to try and keep you guys laughing while I'm here.
Yeah, that's
I like it.
It's probably going to be a shorter show tonight, everybody, because it is 2 in the morning where he lives. So he's stayed up in the night to come and visit us. So you guys, most of you guys have these tokens. If you don't, you need to get them. We'll give away a free copy of them tonight. But the tokens that he has made for the spells, there's 135 of them. And we're actually going to show them in Fantasy Grounds. If you get this module that he's, or well, not a module, but if you get this item on the DM's Guild, and I'll put the link in the chat here. If you get that, you get the Fantasy Grounds module with the tokens in it, but you also get just the tokens in a PDF, so you can have them to, if you want to use them other ways. So what I would do in Fantasy Grounds is go here to tokens and open the module, which I think I've already opened, but let's just make sure. Yes, and I have Robin's open too. Fantasy Grounds Token Spells by Gareth Jensen, right here.
Don't show mine, they can't even compare.
And so, for those that haven't ever seen these, they are amazing. And we're going to open a map here. And do you have a favorite, Gareth? Do you have a favorite one that you did? Or favorites?
Single token?
Yeah.
How about, what is it? Guardian Spirits or Spiritual Defender?
Okay, let's find guiding. They're in alphabetical order, so I should be able to...
Not Guiding Spirit, Spiritual Defender, the one that's on the cover with the shield and the sword.
Oh, Spiritual Defender.
That took a bunch of time, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Shield and sword.
I believe in you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you. I need it. Spiritual Defender. I don't know why I don't see it here. I see Spiritual Weapon. Spirit Guardians. Snowball Sword. Yeah.
Okay, it's second from the top on the left. Oh, now you've moved it. It's down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're sorry. Yeah.
Down under Fury Fire. To the left, to the right. There you go.
Oh, Guardians of Faith. Oh man,
There
yeah.
Ooh.
That is a good one. Now, the thing is,
That's so
the tokens will usually show up on the size that they're meant to be, but you can also blow it up on the map like this. So normally, of course, this would only be a 5-foot thing, but just so you guys can all see it. Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's pretty.
He's gonna be slicing your face off and perhaps bashing you with his shield. Yeah, so I know Robin and Fury are gonna have a lot of questions, and the audience, the people in the chat will have some questions, and I just have one. how did
Fire
you
away.
how do you get this talent? How do you know how to draw these on a computer? Like, how does that even happen?
Well, it's a, it's a difficult question. I mean, everyone starts off drawing. Some people stop, and some people don't. I just experimented, and when I first started playing with Fantasy Grounds, I realized that even though there were lots and lots of character tokens, monster tokens, all that sort of thing, there were no effect tokens to speak of at that point. So originally, when I created the set, it was under Fantasy Grounds Classic,
Testicle
which of
Tuesday.
course doesn't work terribly well with variable alphas and that sort of thing. If you drop a character onto this token in FGC, then any space with variable opacity that's not zero will occlude the character. Whereas under the Unity-based system, or with stacking, courtesy of the layer extension, then
Yeah.
you can have tokens on the bottom, and that means variable opacity, which basically means you can have things like the center of the character is very, very opaque, so we can see all that detail very clearly. But those wing shapes on the outside are very, very faint, as is intended.
Right.
It's the same thing. None of them are perfectly opaque or perfectly transparent. And yeah, as I say, that's by intention, so that we can see that the universe that they're in, but also get the art in there.
It's just amazing to me because if you ask me to draw a square on a computer, I can barely accomplish it. But so these are fantastic, and there's 135 of them, and I remember that you started with 70 of them, and then you expanded it. So if people had this from years ago, they can just go re-download it, and it'll have all the newer ones in it. So guys, if you have questions in the chat, go ahead and type them out, and we'll get those answered for you. But I know Robin and Fury'd have questions, so go ahead.
Oh, actually, Rob, can you show me the token that's to the right of what I assume is Magic Mouth?
Oh, yes, I can. Magic Mouth.
I think. Oh, there's the one.
Oh,
yeah,
here,
that
this one.
Yeah, that one. Can I see that one?
This one is.
Oh, Mel's minute meteors.
Maximilian's Urban Grass.
Oh, okay. I can't read very well.
And I guess I can blow up the token, or it's easier if I just zoom in. But
you
yeah,
could make like a gargantuan NPC and put the tokens as that NPC's token, and then drag it to the map. That way, it will be huge. If you wanted a faster way to do it.
Don't you tell me what to do.
It was just a suggestion.
Yeah, it's actually a very good suggestion. Oh, here. Let's see. PC, right?
An NPC.
Oh, NPC. So let's put the token. Change its size to
like gargantuan. Yeah. You got this.
All right, and then drag it over.
Is that how you spell it?
No, it's not. Oh, you know what though? You have to gargantuan. How do you spell it?
GARGANTUAN.
Yeah, I did spell it right. But you see that it doesn't work. You gotta I don't know.
Well,
wait,
I thought it would offer.
But it didn't work. So I think
try dragging it from the sheet, the NPC sheet.
Dragging it from like this?
From the token area, where the token is, Goober.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
Aww,
okay, well, so we're not gonna.
Okay, I'm sorry, I tried.
Yeah, actually, it's ironic that this is the place to learn how to use Fantasy Grounds, but I don't want to waste time relearning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Myself, I don't know how to do it. Someone in the chat's probably gonna be screaming, "No, you do this." But anyway, let's just get rid of all this.
Is this FGU or is it that we're looking at it on?
This is classic.
This is classic.
This is classic. Okay.
Yeah.
If you add it as an effect under a spell effect or whatever, then you can actually nominate the size when you drop it in.
Oh yeah. You know what? I apologize. I'm not 100%. I'm just my mind isn't really all there right now because I'm not feeling well, so I apologize to you for that. But yeah, any other competent Fantasy Grounds user that was hosting the show besides me would be able to do it, but unfortunately for us tonight, I just can't get there. But I definitely wanna show people ones if they want to see them. And I'll just blow them up the old way so it's easier. One of my favorites is. Say that again.
No worries.
Oh, this is one of my favorites right here, and it must be a higher spell level because you never see it get used that much. But look at this.
That is the Illusory Dragon from the Illusory Dragon spell. So that's supposed to be a 3x3 square creature token for a creature that doesn't exist, which comes with another token which is just its own, which is the Breath Weapon token, which you can see in the top of your token folder there in the center on the top row.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he's
I see.
3x3, and then he has his own. Yeah, then he has his own effect that will be happening probably at some desperately unfortunate party.
Yeah, and it's probably like a 60-foot cone or something, right? It's like
huge. It is
60-foot. Yeah, so you could. Oh, don't mess with this guy. Oh my God, everybody.
So he's just pretty.
He's gonna.
So it's going to be something like that.
So the DM would be like, "Hey, here's your guy, and he's there, and the spell's been cast, and he's and then you don't show this token, and then you just drop it there. Boom. You're all fired. You're fired. Different than getting
Lensman has a question.
Or whatever. Yep.
Lensman in chat would like to know, Hagrid, what are your future plans for spell tokens, or do you have other future projects?
I have other future projects. I'm doing 4 or 5 skin sets for FGO, which are Steampunk Eberron, Barovia, Schult, and one other, which I haven't named yet. And they're just basically skins for the interface and whatnot to add a little bit of flavor to the game.
Oh, nice.
And I've also got a list of match sets which I'm working on, which I'm about a quarter of the way through, which is about 30 maps for these are battle maps, for the outer planes, which I've never seen anyone do well. I could be wrong about that. There might be somebody out there that's doing amazing work, but I haven't come across it yet. I haven't been exposed to it yet. So about 30 outer planes, about 80 city maps, a couple of dozen for aberrations. So that's beholders, ithlids, and aboleths, and that sort of thing. Lairs and outposts for them, which all need to have their own aesthetic and their own sort of, I guess you would say, visual style or visual system going on. The Dragons of Pharyn, which is a very, very old Dragon magazine article that has about 30 or 40 basic sort of dragon descriptors, but they all have their own personas, their own personalities, their own layers. And it's like, that's a really awesome article, making the big bad evil guy be unique and descriptive rather than just a big coloured lizard. So I decided I was going to do those layers as well. And finally, a whole bunch of highly detailed sort of townscape type stuff. So forges, temples, slums, sewers, brothels, merchants, houses, all that sort of stuff.
That sounds pretty cool, all that stuff.
So there's
busy.
Tons of map making to do. And at the moment, I'm doing the aberration stuff. At the moment, I'm working on some beholders layers. Actually, I can flick you a map if you want. It's not finished, but I can give you a look at one if that's convenient.
Oh yeah. If you'll send it, I'll open it. Is it just a JPEG or something?
Yeah, but it's unfinished. Like the map itself is done, but it hasn't been detailed. I haven't populated it with garbage.
Oh right. Yeah, I can pop it open. If you send it to me in Discord, I can certainly pop it open and show everybody.
Cool. I just need to try and make this window small.
That's so awesome.
Try not to break the world while I do this. Okay, there we go. Hang on a second.
Anybody else in the I keep saying audience. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. The Twitch chat people. Is it the audience? I don't know what we call them.
They're an audience. I
Viewers.
consider it an audience.
If you guys have other questions, let us know. Now's the time.
Well, I have an art question.
There we go.
Hagrid, what programs do you use to create your art? Like, do you go to,
Photoshop.
like, okay, so just straight up Photoshop?
Pretty much, yeah.
And so what kind of tablet do you use, or do you not use a tablet?
I didn't use a tablet when I started these, but now I have a Cintiq, so it's a Wacom.
Oh, I want one so bad.
Yep.
I have a Huion, which is like knockoff.
They're not so bad. The Huions, they're not so bad. I mean, I have a Wacom myself, but I want to upgrade to the Wacom that actually has a screen on it. So I'm not
Yep.
like trying to do that whole blind, drawing on the pad and looking at my computer screen. I want to be like looking at the pad and drawing at the same time,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is something you get used to reasonably quickly, that whole hand-eye coordination thing. But actually having a pen and a tablet brings in the muscle memory. So, 30 years worth of experience of drawing with a pen on paper beats a couple of years of using a mouse and hands down every time.
Yeah.
True.
So I got this.
Can you see that?
Yep. Yeah.
Can you see that in chat?
It looks cool.
That's
it looks like
really cool.
a place that I would neither want to walk into or float in a boat down the whatever. I don't want to go in there. It's just it's gonna be
I like
dangerous.
the water effects. I mean, that
It
is
looks
water there, right?
scary.
The little blue and dark.
No,
blue.
it's more sort of, I don't know, gas, dust, visual
even
illusion.
so.
I can see that. That's even scarier.
That's even scarier.
Yeah.
I'm out. I don't want to do it.
This is the beginning of a beholder's lair, and the idea is, of course, they float, so they don't actually need a ground plane underneath.
Oh,
it. So
right.
the idea is there are just sort of areas that the players have to negotiate.
Yeah.
Where
cool.
it's like, yeah, you could die here if you don't have some fly or levitate.
Absolutely.
Couple questions. Lensman
Yeah.
wants to know, do the expanded tokens now include non-persistent spells? I'm thinking like akin to magic missile, etc.
Okay. There's a handful. I mean, when I created them, I was playing in a campaign where we had 6 players and we had fights with dozens of monsters. So even if everyone gets a 30-second turn or a 10-second turn or something like that, you're still spending a lot of time with your mouth shut waiting for the next time to do something. So I created these so that there could be a visual representation of something that was going to be persistent.
Right.
And if you have to load a token for an instant every single time somebody casts Eldritch Blast or Firebolt or whatever, then you're going to spend an awful lot of time in the folders and not listening to players or not listening to the rest of the group.
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense. I agree with that.
Right.
So it's his tokens, you guys, are ones that would last on the map for more than just your turn.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
having said that, there are a handful that I did as, I don't know, just concessions to people that I've played with and that sort of thing. And there are a few of the more common sort of instant, direct damage numbers, things like Shatter and Fireball, Circle of Death, that sort of thing. So even if they're instant, they still have an AOE, which, under the old FGC extensions package, you can use, not just as a token, but also as a selection tool as well. So that's pretty funky. And it was like, yeah, I'll put these in because people have been asking for a while.
That's so nice of you.
Things like magic missile, cantrips, that sort of stuff, guiding bolt. It's like, no, I'm.
Yeah, because it's just
in the style of game that I play, I don't see a value for it.
I agree.
I
agree that even having tokens for instant spells would look cool, but everyone would eventually be like, yeah, let's skip that because it just slows the game down, and yeah, people would get sick of it just by doing, and it would be a lot of work for never people getting used basically a lot. But yeah, it's a good question.
Wait. Unless you can actually do like a trigger effect, like when somebody casts that spell, it automatically triggers the thing to pop up on the screen.
Okay, well, I'll be
Yeah,
waiting for you to write that extension, Fury. That'll be
yeah,
awesome.
that's yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna leave that to Diablo Bob's suggestion
People
box.
people send me PMs every day like, "Hey, what about this?" And I might 9 out of 10 times I'll just write back, "I'm excited for the day that you write that yourself and just let me know." Cuz
Yeah.
wouldn't it be great if just, Fantasy Grounds could just hook a thing on your head and it just did whatever you thought? It would be awesome. One day. Maybe not in our lifetimes.
One day.
Yeah, question.
Why can't they have animated GIFs so I could have spent
Oh,
3
right.
times as long
I've heard,
animating
yeah,
all
I've
of this?
seen
Yeah.
I think Foundry VTT or one of those people has where you can use animated maps, and it looked pretty cool, but I'm not sure.
Oh god, I'm gonna go and kill myself. Oh,
Question:
that'll take forever.
Did you?
Yep.
Winak wants to know: Did you go through a few different drafts or designs for each token, and how did you pick the designs?
Some of them were extremely fast and simple, and some of them took days and days and days and days. If you have a look at Temple of the Gods, which are those 2 really big square ones down the bottom,
Yeah.
and you'll need to scale the hell out of them because they're both absolutely enormous. Like they might be bigger than the map.
Yeah, see, this is
Yeah.
when you drag the token. I won't even put it on the map. I'll just hold it here because they are scaled. The tokens
They're
are
colossal.
scaled. It's just that if you don't have the PC
The
set.
right size map, and yeah.
Yeah, so
And
this
the
is
idea is that this is a summons, which summons a sort of a temple. And originally I did the other one, the one next to it, which is the gold one. Temple of the Gods, etc. And then somebody went, you're gonna need a version for each alignment.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
well, thanks very much.
There you go.
Great. In deference, I'll do a good one.
They look
So I did that.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah,
nice.
and that I actually ended up building the pillar structure on the ceiling that goes on the ceiling. I actually ended up building that in 3D and rendering it out as translucent, and then doing the background underneath and that sort of thing. So that particular token took about a week, and of course it only took about a day to actually make the evil version.
Yeah, you could give me 1,000,000 years and none of this would ever happen. Let's see.
Spirit Guardians took about 4 or 5 days wanting to get that one right.
Oh, is
Spirit
that
Guardians.
that's a complicated one, huh? Spirit Guardians.
That's it there. Yeah. I don't know if you can even see them there, but we've got lots and lots of sort of wraithy sort of undead.
Yep,
sort of
I see their sad faces in there. They're sad faces. Let's see. John ECC says, "Where did you get your inspiration, and do they just come into your head?"
A part of it's just reading the material and sort of going, okay, if this looked like something, what would it look like? Some of the effects, like the elemental effects, that sort of thing, have definitive colors. Fire is orange, radiant is gold, necro is sort of a dark grey, green, blackish sort of thing, force is purple, blah 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 blah.
Right.
So once you've actually set up a convention of color, then a lot of the stuff becomes kind of self-explanatory. But then there are others that are a little bit more tricky. And if you read the description, a lot of them, it's pretty clear what's intended. The ones that I had the most trouble with are illusions and stuff like that, where it's not clear what something looks like. And even some of the little ones there's the one with the gears. I can't remember what the hell that is. That is a what is it? That is a
the gear one. This one, the tiny servant. Whoops.
Yeah. Tiny servant. That's like an artificer thing.
Yeah.
And it was like you create like a little clockwork creature or whatever, and I'm like, well, that's going to look like garbage, or it's going to look like a monster. So, some of those, every now and then you'll come across one where it is literally purely an icon, and it's like if you don't understand what that means, then and you're looking at Thunderwave. or no,
This
tidal
is
wave.
tidal wave. Yeah, tidal wave.
Yeah.
Thunderwave probably isn't a thing, right? Because it's just an instant thing.
I think no,
Oh
Thunderwave's
no,
under.
that is Thunderwave. Oh no, this is
No,
Thunderwave right
Thunderwave's
here.
extra.
So that's an example of the one that would be instant, but you do have a token for it. So that's cool.
It's an instant, but it has an area of effect, and because it's reasonably low level, it's something that I almost guarantee and fairly ubiquitous. I guarantee it's something somebody at the party will have, because you've got what druids, priests, mages, and sorcerers.
Yeah,
Well,
it gets used a
depending on
lot. It's a favorite spell of mine.
it's used a lot. So it's like, it's like, why not do that? It's going to be useful.
And as a reminder, everybody, the Garrett's tokens here are, if you own his token module from DM's Guild, if you own it, then they do appear in the Rob Tui spell codings. So, for example, if you go to cast, Fairy Fire, in my spell codings is that token, and it sizes properly, and you just drop it on the map. You can target with it, whatever, all that stuff. We did a show about that, but just reminding everybody. And if you don't have his tokens, it won't work. So you obviously can't get my spell codings just to get his free tokens. It doesn't work like that. So the functionality is, if you own his pack and it's installed in your token file, then it'll work, but otherwise no.
You're talking about the sizing effects, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm talking about even the tokens being there in the first place. Like my bestseller and the reason I'm even anybody's name on anybody's tongue that uses Fantasy Grounds is because of my coding packages. And your tokens, as of whatever it was, a month ago or so, are now incorporated into the spell codings that I did, but the person can't use that functionality unless they've purchased your tokens.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
So everybody should go buy them because they're amazing.
Because they're amazing.
I've gotten them twice, once for myself and once for somebody else, because I love them that much. They're amazing.
Thanks.
Oh, and speaking of which, let's give away a copy. Let's do a prize here for everybody. I will draw one name, and then by tomorrow the winner will receive, because I'm sure immediately when we end the show he's going to go right to bed because it's 2:30 in the morning there.
I can do it now if you give me a second to log in.
But they'll need to send in their email, which they're not going to do till later anyway.
All
right, so let's do this. Let's make the keyword Hagrid, and the prize, of course, will be the tokens. So I will start a 1-minute timer in the chat, everybody. You can enter his name. It's !Hagrid. And if you want to win them, go ahead and type in your name, and I will draw one winner. And you got it's 1G Winak. Oh, you did it. Okay. Oh, you typed it in just to make sure. And then what'll happen is the winner will send me their email after the show, and then I'll just forward that to Garrett and make sure that he sends you the DM's Guild thing for that. So it's like all of the prizes are. So I think we're not getting that many people entered because everybody's already purchased it.
It happens.
So far, there's a 25% chance one of you guys will win. There's only 4 people entered. So let's see if it holds. And
they're so amazing.
They're totally
That's why everybody already has them.
Right, they're already purchased. Okay, here we go. The winner is General Wedge Antilles. Nice, good job. So, Wedge, you know what to do. Send me a PM in Discord with your email, and I will forward that to Hagrid. And I know he's in Discord, but
I have a question for Hagrid.
Far away.
So, how long on average does it take you to start to finish do one token?
Oh, that's a bit tricky. I think the shortest amount of time it's ever taken is about 2 hours, and the longest it's taken is about 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, well, there were some of them where it just really didn't work, and it didn't work tried a bunch of things and had to redo it. But
Makes sense.
maybe a day. When I say a day, I mean over the course of the day. I don't mean a whole day. I mean
Right.
maybe 3 hours, maybe 3 hours each, 4 hours each, with a handful of exceptions.
They're
That's
definitely,
awesome.
you're able to tell by the, I guess the word is craftsmanship, but you definitely can tell that you put a lot of thought and detail into each one, and
Well, I hope so. I mean, I
it's
wanted them to
fantastic.
make sense visually, so that when you see them, it's like, well, that's obviously blah blah blah, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Well, most of them you can. You don't even need to know the title. You can be like, "Oh, Magic Mouth, duh, right there. That's the one." And spiritual weapons, obvious. I mean, a lot of them are obvious. This is the sword, not sword, daggers, clouded daggers. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. I like them all. There's probably not even. Oh, maddening darkness. Yeah. See, look. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
There's like, oh man.
All those
It's
faces
like
are
an
pretty cool.
evil
So creepy.
face, like a Joker face or something. That's just crazy looking, and another open mouth, jagged tooth. Yeah, okay, I have to stop looking at it. I was too scared.
Yep. Some of them are a bit more tricky.
Yeah.
What's that one next to Mage? Oh, there, that was tricky. It's one of the healing. Maybe was that prayer of healing?
Prayer of healing. Let's see.
Up the top next to the hand. Top row, about 2/3 of the way across. No.
Bigby's
Oh.
hand.
Next to the
Beacon of Hope.
Beacon
Yeah,
of, oh, yeah, Beacon of Hope.
Beacon of
Yeah,
Hope.
the beacons and the Ladinoras and that sort of thing were a bit tricky.
Oh, there's a lot of questions in chat
Yeah,
now,
now
so
there's
I'm
more
going to fire one
questions.
off.
Go.
Lensman wants to know, have you created any themes for Fantasy Grounds that are available to the community?
I've already covered that earlier. I've got four skin sets of things.
And they're
that
already available?
they're not available yet. They won't be available until all of them are ready to go. And under FGU, you know, there's some stuff with the coding that has changed or been broken or whatever since FG6. They work fine under FGC, but they don't work under FGU. So I need to get somebody that's a lot better at coding than me to clean up the horrific bird's nest of my writing before they can go online. But the graphics are finished.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and as I said, there's a steampunk one. There's I have to call it that because I can't use its proper name. There's also Charles Eberon and Barovia. Those are the four that are ready to go. And there's a one coming, which is sort of high fantasy.
Yeah, that'll be cool. People really like that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Well, it's personalization. It's, you know, when you to open it up and have a interface that just sort of fits, you know, the world that you're playing is kind of nice. And obviously, I use them in my own game all the time.
Okay, there's more questions. Let's see here.
Fire away.
Is there an overlap with your tokens in the deck of many things?
No, there's no overlap.
Oh, they're good. There you go. Simple answer. No.
Sorry. Do you have sorry? Does the querent mean the deck of many things as the magic item, or the deck of many things as the other product that I have?
I think what he's
The other
asking
product
is,
you have.
yeah. I think he wanted to know if there were any duplicates, and you said there's not. So
No, not intentional. I mean, there might be stylistically, there might be some crossover, but it's not intentional or conscious in any way.
okay, cool. Let's see.
Caesar had asked earlier, how many of the tokens have you created, and then when you were done with it, you decided to just scratch it and start over
And
again?
redo, probably about a quarter of them.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
goodness.
It's worth the money, everybody. He put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, probably about a quarter.
Yeah, okay.
I think that was. Oh, Bob asked. I think because Bob missed it. Diablo Bob wanted to know which was your favorite token So if you don't
Oh, did
mind
you say his
saying that
favorite?
one
Them
again.
all?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the first one. What is it? Spiritual Defender or whatever the hell it's called.
Right. The one you
One that you
showed
pulled out.
Oh yeah,
earlier,
the one we showed.
Rob.
Yeah, I quite like that.
The Maximilian's Grasp, that one.
No. The guy with the shield and the sword.
Which one was that? There's so
Halfway
many.
down on the
It's
left.
up at the top.
It was like
So
the first one
many.
he wanted us to look
Down on
at.
the left under Fairy.
Yeah, here it is. Guardian of Faith.
That one.
Yeah.
It's so good.
My favorite is I could change my mind on this, but it's just because it jumps out at me when you open all the tokens. It's Fairy Fire. It's this one. It's just a Jimi Hendrix.
What's the one next to
60s
the
haze of drugs.
triangle with the skulls? What's that one?
Triangle of
The
the Souls.
triangle.
With the skull, and then to the left.
Oh, Triangle
Very
with the skull.
Oh, that's I think that's called Fear,
What's
isn't it?
to the left of that?
Yeah, the one to the left.
Oh, this one. That's Fairy
Yes.
Fire. Well, my favorite is Hypnotic Pattern, everybody.
Oh.
Not Fairy Fire. They're similar.
Oh, I like the
They're
Fairy
like-
Fire.
Yeah, Fairy Fire is good because it's fairies. They have wings and they're
I
small.
like that one.
But I like I wear tie-dye t-shirts and I do a lot of heroin and this one is my favorite.
Hypnotic Pattern.
yeah.
That's why he has a YouTuber.
You know
My
why?
favorite
It's
is
not
the
even a spell,
Illusory
you guys.
Dragon.
It's what?
The Illusory Dragon.
Oh yeah, the Illusory
that
Dragon.
one is amazing.
Yeah,
I
plus
love it.
it's breath weapon. Dragon breath.
Right. Yes.
That one did actually take about a dozen iterations. Like originally, I just created, the dragon token or whatever, and then I'm like, it's illusory, so it's got to be see-through, but the occlusion has to be something that sort of works rationally. So then I went on to Dreamscaper, and I don't know if you know what Dreamscaper is. It's an online product where you take one image, which is a source image, and another image, which is essentially a sort of a style image, and it uses some sort of super weird computing algorithms to actually mash them together. So you can take a portrait of your grandfather and throw that in with Van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night and end up with a portrait of your grandfather as if it was painted by Van Gogh.
Oh my god, that's cool.
Wow.
What's that called again?
Dreamscaper?
Dreamscaper.
I've never heard of
Hang on a
that.
second, I'll just check that to make sure that I've got that correct.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because
Excuse
I've
me.
seen stuff like that, and I thought to myself, that's either a really talented person or some computer algorithm that did that for us. Yeah.
No, it's a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Because I mean, the thing is, it's not an exact science. There's no, it's called Deep Dream.
Deep Dream. Okay.
Yeah.
Scuba in chat would like you to know, Hagrid, that this was Scuba's first DM's Guild purchase, after one of his players forgot the enemy had cast Spirit Guardians and walked in the AoE. He says, I was only dealing with the crying once.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's saving DMs from having to deal with their players crying. That's what you've done. That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah. So I created that. Like I experimented. Like after I'd finished creating the actual dragon as an illustration, I put it through a bunch of style iterations in Deep Dream, and I was using all kinds. I was experimenting with all kinds of stuff. Going, what does an illusion look like? Does it look like like a NASA photo of a galaxy or a thunderstorm with lightning or whatever? And just basically trying all kinds of different stuff to sort of get a look that I wanted. Got the look that I wanted, pulled it out, and then had to go through and paint the alpha channel, which is the thing that gives you your opaque portions and your transparent portions and all that sort of thing. That one was one of the ones that actually took forever because it's a dragon and it's like there's only one of these in here and it has to look cool. So
Yeah.
Ooh, and Lensman stole a question I was going to ask eventually. But have you ever considered creating a set of tokens for traps? And I'm going to add on to that and also say environmental effects like lava and pools of acid and stuff like that.
I've thought about it a little bit, but the problem with that is that spells are specific and environmental effects are not.
Yeah,
Correct.
and
It's like if you look through here, there's not a lot of illusions except for well, once again, like Illusory Dragon, which has a definite look. It says in the spell, it looks like this. And it's like, well, I can draw that. But if it looks like anything you want, I can't do a drawing of anything you want without drawing, everything.
Right, that
and so
makes
at that
sense.
point, it becomes impossible to do the job.
And those are less tokens and more map assets, which there are
Yeah.
billions of. And so, like, for example, lava and traps and stuff like that, they're all out there already. Whereas what he's done here is unique, D&D 5e tokens that, sure, someone else could do them in a different style, but he's basically, as he just stated, defined them as the description of the spell says, and he was first. No one else did it, so now anybody that does it, they'll just be duplicating an already perfect effort, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. There are other token packs out there, but they're not. I've had a look through a couple of them and that sort of thing. And they define things as, here's, I don't know, 50 bolts or 50 clouds or 50 whatever.
Yeah.
But they're not defined specifically in terms of specific spells.
Right.
They're just like, here's a bunch of cool sort of bolty type things that you can use however you want to use them. And for some people that want, I want my warlock to do things that are a specific color or something like that because of, reasons that are in the game or whatever, that's cool. But as a sort of a generic tool that, it references the books and references the world, then this is my contribution.
These are definitely niche, as they should be, and there's how many spells now? Like 500 and some D&D 5th edition spells, and not all of them, of course, require a token because you don't need a token. But for everyone that does need one, here they are, 135. Boom.
Yep.
All right, good. I hope we answered everybody's questions. I think we went much longer than I thought we would. I thought it would be like, hey, everybody, cool tokens. Any questions? Nice, see ya. Like, that's what I thought it was going to be, but I'm glad you were able to hang out with us. And I just want to say...
no worries.
Sorry?
I said, no worries.
Yeah. I just want to say again how much I appreciate, and I'm sure we all do, that we're able to come on the show with us live and do it at 2 a.m. your time, going on 3 now. So we're gonna let you go to sleep. We're not so mean. We're not monsters. But if we were, you'd draw us as a token, right? That's what we would do.
You don't want to give me ideas like that. I can be quite convicted sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. You'll go to sleep and you'll be dreaming about what kind of new tokens you can make.
Awesome.
So good. And before we go, Garrett, is there anything you would like to say, or anything we forgot, or did you want to tell people how to, or do you have social medias, or anything you'd like to tell to the audience? You feel free to.
I don't know, really. I could do a sales pitch for the deck of very many things.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead.
For those of you, I had an argument with a DM about 2 years ago about divination, and he basically said that it's too powerful, it breaks the fourth wall, etc., and it takes things out of the game. And I thought, well, what if this is a feature instead of a bug? So all the divination spells in the game say that by the use of the casting of cards or bones or dice or whatever, blah blah blah, you gain the answer to a question about etc., about whatever it is you're asking about, whether it's legend lore or augury or whatever. And it occurs to me that even though that happens, and even though you then get to ask the DM, what does this mean, what does this mean, what does this do, etc., it would be very cool if there was a tool for that. So I sat down and created a set of tarot cards for the D&D world specifically.
Nice.
So there's not 72 of them, there's 100. They reference every class, every race, every damage type, every monster type.
Wow.
Elements.
Yep, and here's
elements, environments, outer planes, all that sort of stuff. And there is actually a little database that comes with it, because when you're in game and somebody says, who in town has got the magical crystal of whatever, the DM has to work out who the answer is. It's the half-elven merchant, something like that, and then be able to just, go through the database and just immediately pull out correct cards rather than having to search through all of them. So there's a little database in there which gives you the cards, because once again, I don't want this tool to slow the game down. I want it to make it more involved, but I don't want it to slow the game down. So the databases are specifically in there so that once the DM has worked out what cards they want to show, they can just go click, 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 and pop, 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 and the cards come up. And then what happens at that point is, instead of just giving them an answer, it's the half-elven merchant in town, you give them some cards, and then the players have to actually divine or work out what the cards are actually saying. And at that point, the whole conversation or the query goes back into, like the thing when you're sitting in the pub with some friends and you're like, oh, I had this weird dream last night, blah, 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 and everyone tells you how messed up you are. So it's like
I love how each card has, the title of the card, and then it also represents other things. That's so smart, and really versatile.
Well, the point of it is that in a world where magic works, the cards will never, ever be random. In a world where magic works. In this world, obviously, a random shuffle is a random shuffle, but inside the game, if it works, then they have to have definitive meanings. The meanings have to reference the universe that they're in.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
These are really cool.
So that took me a year and a half. So
I guess.
If you like the stuff that I do, then yeah, that's the longest I've spent on any project.
Well, there you go.
I'm buying it right now.
The link is in the chat there. A deck of very many things, and it is on the DM's Guild right here, $9.95.
It does have an actual deck of many things in there as well.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And that does have a random draw chart on it.
Cool. I'm glad.
So if you want to play with the game's most loved and loathed artifact, then
yeah. DMs love it, players hate it. Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, well, good. So thanks again, Garrett, for coming to the show. Awesome stuff. And you've got a lot of fans, I know, just from talking to them personally. You've got
that's awesome.
Yeah, from doing this. And it was fun to notice that, your tokens ranking on the DM's Guild VTT category
shot up.
Yeah, the shot up, and which is why we got a hold of you. And apparently you were already on my Discord. I just didn't know your name was Hagrid on the Discord. But
yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah.
I'm so happy to have those, because it is such an enhancement, I think, to the spell codings. And people have said that it's just really great. And so I mean, I couldn't be a bigger fan of your work.
Awesome. Can I take a moment to say thank you to everyone that's purchased it and whatnot, because you're enabling me to do more work. And
you can say whatever you'd like to say,
just do more stuff. So thank you to everyone that's supported it and taken an interest. I'm very, very grateful.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for making lovely art for us.
Yeah, I think I'm a huge mechanics guy, and so when I open the player's handbook, when I buy the book and I open it, I don't even look at the pictures. I kind of do, but I go right to where's the math. But I've become a much bigger fan of art and maps and pictures and now tokens, and that's partly, sir, because of you. So I appreciate your efforts.
Well, thank you very much, mate. I'm very, very flattered and feel extremely uncomfortable now.
Well, if we were closer, we could make out, but let's just leave that for another time.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Let's end on that.
Yeah, that's a great place to finish.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks to my guest, Garrett Jensen, who goes by Hagrid. You guys he's in the Discord, so if you have questions, you can talk to him in the Discord, I'm sure. And
yeah, no worries.
Go out and buy his stuff, everybody. And Robin or Fury, any final words from you?
No, thank you so much for coming on, Hagrid.
Lovely to meet you, and I hope all the best with your campaigns. Happy hunting.
Thank you so much. And to the members of the studio audience, we'll call it, even though that's not in any way true. If I didn't say so before, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so we are not going to do Jackbox games as we normally do on Sunday nights. And I know you're all super disappointed, the 6 of you that always show up. Uh, so we shall see you back again next time, and good gaming, everyone.